So I was going to start the show talking about like, oh, it's a new year. How's everybody's new year? You got goals in the new year. Although I feel like the last year always rolls into the new year. So like, you know, whatever's going on in the fall, the previous year, it's the same year. Like it takes a couple of months really for the events, the problems, or the attitudes of the previous year to dissipate for a new year to really kick off. However, I'm just going to go into my golden rule theory. There's like a golden rule in show business. And there's a golden rule on this podcast, or maybe it's a Johnny spoiler rule, I don't know, that if you miss a show, I'm going to tease you, and I'm going to talk about it. No, our girl Jordan Savage isn't here to drop a Savage review, so I'll just get Savage on her for a second. I almost said the A word, David. I'm also trying to be conscientious of, like, Google and Google Display Video that, like, you know, says that our show is full of shocking content. I don't know how shocking it is. It's a movie review podcast with some friends to talk about movies, and we spoil things that we love, whatever. I'll introduce the crew in a second, but I just want to go. It's an early tangent so far. We just started, and it's already rolling. So, you know, Jordan's out sick, so I was like, oh, she knows how to party, but she doesn't know how to party and rally, which means like the show must go on. So it's like all those theater actors, you know, like the Laurence Olivier's and all his buddies, or like Oliver Hudson or whatever, like, you know, pissed out of their mind, drunk, totally shit-faced, but then they go and deliver, like, the second act of the play after lunch, after the intermission. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah. So I'm just like, our buddy Jordan Savage, she can party, but she can't, you know, handle the hangover afterwards. Or she's got that, like, super, super, super triple flu, like, or zombie fungus infection. There's a show called The Last of Us, which is based on a video game. And like the first episode just dropped on
no
HBO
spoilers.
Max. Sorry, let me slow down. David's asked for no spoilers. Let me tell you where you are. This is the Binge-Watchers podcast with Johnny Spoiler. I only spoil the things I love. Dangerous Dave, who likes trivia, he'll get dangerous with it. And Jordan Savage is usually here, who's so savage she can review a movie without even having watched it. So anyway, if it's your first time listening to the show, you're in for a treat. And speaking of treats, tonight's delicious episode is brought to you by omahasteaks.com. Use our promo code BINGE at checkout for $30 off your order, plus 55% off on select items on their tender steaks or juicy burgers, decadent desserts, and classic comfort foods. More on that later, but they also promise it's the best steak of your life, and they guarantee it. omahasteaks.com/binge. Now back to this mouth-watering episode. Dave.
Yo.
Anyway, so about the new year. Like, you looking forward to anything? Do you agree with my theory that the year takes a little while to get going and it just feels like the previous year? Or what?
Yeah, basically. I mean, one rolls into another. It isn't like, you know, it's midnight on December 31st and all of a sudden it's or January 1st rather, and it's, wow, whole new year, whole new me. No, your problem's still with you. The bill that you haven't paid last month is going to be there next month, or whatever other worry you have.
When do the bills stop, David? When do the bills stop?
Once your coffin is paid off, I guess.
I was gonna say, like, you know what thought immediately jumped in my head after I asked you that question? Like, I was imagining if Dave answered my question, when you're dead. But actually, well, depending on like what society you live in, your bills just transfer to like your kin. You know,
right?
Like somebody's footing the bill. Just rack it up, folks. Like, what do they call it? A tab. If you're at a bar, it's a tab. So just rack up that life tab. Push that debt the debt ceiling as far as possible, and just pass that debt on. Just like the environment, we're going to pass the environment on with the debt. And the whale that also has debt now, because even, you know, this whales can get credit now. There's a credit rating for blue whales. That's not even a joke. I'm just like rambling. It's just like, we should actually have a credit rating for all of our animals. Especially Asia already has one. Social ratings. I heard this is coming. It's coming down the pipeline. This show is not even about that stuff. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right, let's jump over to
cats getting credit cards. What?
Cats are getting credit cards. We got to talk about this. Well, they watch television. That'd be really funny if they were just marketing to cats. Like, because they've done a study where animals can be distracted or engaged with media. In fact, it's like a running joke in that that holiday movie. What is that movie with Bill Murray? The Bill Murray movie. You don't know? You don't know, Dave?
Oh, I was saying, was it Scrooged?
Scrooge, yeah. So, like, I was thinking about that movie because it's a perfect example. Like, the boss at one point is like telling the dude, "Oh yeah, we're gonna just start programming for cats or whatever." You know what I mean? Or like all pets or whatever. Like,
well, there are
anyway.
cat channels, so you can go on Roku and buy channels that are just for cats. Cat videos.
So instead of just teasing Jordan Savage, who isn't here, we'll just keep ramming at home. She's not here. She's not here. She's not here. There's usually 3 voices. She's not here. It's thrown off the whole night. She's not here. The first controversy of the night will be actually the Rick and Morty creator. Is the show going to get canceled or recast? Justin Roiland has been accused of a pretty serious crime, but apparently I was like Googling, does he do 1 voice or 2 voices? He's both Rick and Morty. I was like, bummer. Like, so what do you think, Dave? Do you think they'll just like, we're not going to cancel our 75 episode order on Adult Swim for freaking Rick and Morty science fiction comedy show? Granddaddy and his little grandkid use a portal gun and they go to alternate universes, and I mean, it's pretty much everybody's favorite animated comedy besides The Simpsons and maybe Family Guy. So.
I think they recast because I think in these later seasons it looks like the guy Rob Schrab is doing most of the writing lately, anyways. So if it's to keep, he goes back into the early 2000s. He's popped in and out of different projects. He used to make short films for this website called Channel 101. I know he's written a ton of
damn, you actually know a lot about episodes. Him. I thought I was going to put you on the spot. You're ready with the fact sheet on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's written a ton of stuff for Community, which I guess his connection would be Dan Harmon. So I think, I mean, if you can replace the voice cast, I think you can keep on with the show.
Yeah, Does he have producer credit on Rick and Morty?
That I don't know, but I noticed his name kept popping up more and more in this last season.
And maybe they're relying on him, like leaning into him, so maybe he'll take on the responsibilities. Who knows?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Like if he's already doing it,
like a cash cow to leave on the table.
They're like, oh yeah, dude lost his mind, so I've been doing all his work anyway. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? We don't know anybody. We don't really know. You can look it up yourself. There's like an accusation, but there's no. I mean, nothing's happened yet. There's no. I don't know. It sounds salacious, but who knows? Who really knows? Nobody really knows, except for the people that are there, right?
Right. It's got to be investigated.
So the guy that played like Jason in pretty much every single popular sequel to Friday the 13th, I think he does all the middle sequels.
I think 7 going forward, basically.
Yeah, Notorious Part 8. He's been in like 3 or 4 of the Jason movies, but it's Kane Hodder is going to play Goatman in a new horror movie called Killer Goats. Kill Her Goats. Which, if you put the words together, it just sounds like you're saying Killer Goats. Right?
Nice.
I'm in. I mean, it's Kane Hodder. He's like an icon in horror movies. Like, this is easy for me. This is like, if it gets advertised, it's downloadable like right away. Like, maybe this is like a pre-order. You know, I don't know if they're doing pre-orders on horror movies these days, but it'd be a pre-order for me for sure.
Could also be a Tubi original. I've noticed he's popped up on a few of those.
Dang, you know who's killing it right now is Screambox, and actually they've been sending us some screeners. So,
oh, nice.
Oh, did you answer me? Did you want to watch that found footage horror movie that they sent over or whatever?
I don't. We'll talk about this after. I don't remember.
It's called like Outwater. It's called Outwater. Anyway,
I'm always down for watching
more on that. Maybe we'll staff pick it later. Yeah, MGM Plus, which was called like Epic Television, but they are consolidating the MGM catalog into its own MGM Plus. We brought this up like
what's happening?
Yeah. Well, we mentioned this briefly like 6 months ago, but there weren't really any details. Now there's some details. There's like a famous jewel thief in real life whose nickname was Murf the Smurf. So they're gonna make a show based on Murf the Smurf. And he's jewel heists, I guess. you know, and but American Classic is gonna come out, which is a show about like a family theater in trouble, and Kevin Kline is like one of the eccentric children of the guy who owns the theater, but he's like a Broadway producer, but he goes back to like save the family theater. I don't know, but he has problems with his brother and his brother's wife or whatever. So that'll be like a drama or something, American classic. And if sci-fi fans, there's a thing called The Ark. Every time you make a show called The Ark, you can pretty much guarantee what it's about. I mean, it's like, oh, Noah's Ark, but sci-fi elements. Okay, oh yeah,
Right.
future endeavors of humans colonizing other planets because we wrecked the planet Earth again. Welcome to Planet Earth Watch with David and John. We're here to discuss the recycling the Earth. No. Again, like, there's twice now in this episode that it sounded like I was doing, like, a political show. You know what I mean? Like, now we're talking about the Planet Earth Foundation. Not just kidding. It's about movies, folks, I swear. Tonight's movie is called Nikita. It's about a convicted felon played by Anne Paul-Yu. And instead of going to jail, she gets trained to be a government assassin. And then she actually falls in love with some dude from a grocery store. And she's like, oh, shit, I can't get my boyfriend killed. I kind of like the dude. Let's find out what happens. Like, it's Luc Besson. Hey, I love this guy. Maybe French New Wave is what you call a style. I'm not sure. He's like one of the few French filmmakers that has like an American style. He likes comic books and anime. It definitely seems to influence his movies. He's big in the 80s, 90s. He's still working in the 2000s. But he did Fifth Element. He did Subway with Christopher Lambert. And obviously The Professional, which is also called Leon the Professional.
Right.
And I'm sure Dave has a lot of details or trivia to back up tonight's movie. And if Jordan was here, she'd slap you across the face and say, they better be dangerous.
Well, I hope they're... We'll see.
Time out. Real laughter on the show. That is me laughing. I am laughing. I am laughing. Like, because that was the weakest response. I think Dave doesn't want to do this segment anymore. He's just like, you know what? I've had enough.
You guys are just picking on me the whole time.
Hey, I'm trying to break you. That's the goal for this year, is to have drama on the show.
Oh, geez.
That we need to be at wit's end.
Oh, that'll happen eventually.
Actually, I think we said last week or the week before we're going to take the wheels off for 2023. Didn't we say that? This is a giant bonfire of podcasting. Here we go.
Let's see. So, yes, this is actually Luc Besson's first big hit in the U.S. As John mentioned, he would go on to direct The Professional and probably his biggest hit, The Fifth Element. He actually founded a production company in Europe called Eurocore in France, and which produced such hits as the Terminator and Transporter and Taken franchises.
Yeah, it'd be La Terminator.
This movie spawned two remakes, one in Hong Kong named Black Cat, and of course one from America named Point of No Return, which starred Bridget Fonda.
Luc Besson wrote the script for it. He adapted his own script with like 3 other people.
Nice. You never hear it talked about, so I can't imagine it was nearly as good as this.
Wait, you haven't seen Point of No Return?
I have not.
Dang. We almost nominated Point of No Return when we couldn't find. Is that part of your facts? Like, you can't find this movie anywhere. Good luck finding Nikita.
Right. Well, yeah, we can get into that in a minute.
All right.
In addition to the movies, it also spawned two TV shows.
Yeah.
La Femme Nikita.
Which blew my mind because I only knew of one. And I was like, there's really 2 shows?
Yeah, literally, yeah, one from 97 and one from 2010. I guess probably the current generation knows the 2010 one. I think the original one was like a USA Up All Night.
This is going to be sad, but like, both actresses are great in those shows, but I can only think of them by physical characteristics. One has a blonde. And one has an Asian lady with dark hair. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. I think it's actually, is it Margaret Cho?
It's not Michelle Yeoh. Maggie Q.
No, I said the name of a comedian. I didn't even say the name of
Margaret. Well, Margaret Cho is a comedian, yes.
Yeah. But that I meant to say, Maggie Q. She's the action. There's an action one who's really good.
Yeah, that's Maggie Q.
Yeah. Sorry, you don't look the same or sound the same or have the same names, but I meant to say Maggie Q, but I said Margaret Cho. I saw her in an interview recently. I actually like her. She's a good comedian.
She is a good comedian. She's a good actress, too, when they put her in the right role.
I really put my foot in my mouth. They're both Asian, and I get them mixed up. They're not the same person.
Like John said, this is a hard movie to find, and yet it used to be everywhere. Like, you could find this on
everywhere,
Netflix or Hulu.
This is like a classic French movie with contemporary styles. Like it's like well,
you can see Michael Bay stealing from this movie because even just scenes that take place in a courtroom are moving. Like the camera's moving. There's barely still shots.
This is like a film school movie. Like you go to film class and like a teacher could shove this movie down your throat. Like, hey, we're gonna watch freaking Nikita and learn a lesson from it. Like how they shove like Pulp Fiction down our throats or Aliens or you know what I mean? Like or one of the weirdest ones. Dave and I were in a screenwriting class, and what was it? Oh, Officer and a Gentleman. Yeah, so like, look at the beats in this movie. We got to pull up the story beats
from a screenwriting class. Yeah, I mean, and it's a fine movie, but I mean, really, this is what you're upholding as the greatest screenplay of all time. All right.
Yeah.
So,
from a tough as nails ex-Marine that somehow became a screenwriting teacher, and then we watched Officer and a Gentleman. What are you really trying to tell us, bro? What are you really trying to tell us? I'm not gonna read into that. I've interrupted Dave several times. You got any more features on this movie?
Other than a funny little thing that happened to the main actress, she was training to take apart and put together the gun so much she would even do it in her car, and apparently got pulled over at one point thinking it was a real gun and had police pull guns on her. It did not say whether she was driving while doing that or having somebody drive her, but I guess she was practicing in the car and got pulled over.
Dang, that's really funny. So like this comes out at a time where even toy guns look real. Remember how every toy gun used to look like a real gun? But the police didn't actually like automatically shoot you in the past. Like, you know, there was a little bit more like let's really sort out the situation. So she's lucky.
It depends on the department because
like I'm just saying the actor is lucky, you know, like
yeah. Well, you remember talking about those toy guns, like remember the evolution, like at some point, like, oh yeah, an orange thing is gonna be on the front of it.
The orange tip. Yeah, well that was saving children's lives who were getting just like you know, kids getting blown away in like Philadelphia or something. This is a dark show. Way to go!
Yeah, but better get off this before, like, you know, either anti or pro gun people start attacking us for one reason or another.
One way or the other. Which way are you guys leaning? We're gonna tell you not to get guns while we have one loaded in the chamber. Okay, we're playing both sides. Figure it out. It's an entertainment show. We don't split the aisle. We accept everybody. None of these jokes are going to land. This is a wild show, David. A wild show, man. Like, we'll be right back after these messages. You know what? I want you to kick off 2023 with more flavor and even bigger steaks. You can go to omahasteak.com. Use promo code BINGE at checkout. You're going to get a huge discount on those steaks and some customer favorites. Stock up on the mouth-watering tender, juicy steaks, burgers, decadent desserts, classic comfort foods, and every bite is guaranteed perfect. In fact, Omaha Steak says it's the best steak that you're going to have in your life, guaranteed. They're going to guarantee it for you. Whether it's appetizers for the big game, a romantic Valentine's Day dinner, or just a regular weekday night, it's the perfect time to stock up. And every order is backed by their delicious guarantee. So go to omahasteaks.com. Punch in that binge code at checkout, BINGE at checkout, and chomp on these burgers. Chomp, chomp. Now I'm hungry. I'm going to have to order some steaks. Dave, we can't even continue podcasting. Jordan, we can't podcast anymore. I got to stop the whole show and go eat a ribeye from my friends at omahasteaks.com.
I really do want a steak now.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking? Like, do you ever think like a listener's probably like, just let Dave finish? Why do you keep interrupting Dave? Like, just let him get the facts about the movie out so we can decide whether or not we want to watch it. But also, I'm gonna probably have to disable the comments on this YouTube video. You know,
we'll see. We'll see where the wind blows on this one.
Quite radical. It's like going for a job interview. Like, hey, John, you know, we're really excited to bring you in for the position of marketing manager. We found out you also do a podcast on the side, and we happened to play an episode, and you're talking about shooting kids in the street. I'm like, that's not what I said. That's how your brain interpreted what I was saying. I wasn't talking about perpetuating street violence. I was trying to talk about a nice little French film called Nikita with my buddy Dave. Let me tell you where Dave lives. I'm not going to give you my address. Let me tell you where Dave lives. You can send all your mailbags to Dave. Just kidding. When
So
something's
what?
on fire, you just add more fuel to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bring it on. I guess. No, please don't.
Bring on the favorite bits from Nikita. We're gonna talk about our favorite bits from this movie now.
From this movie about the little assassin that could.
Assassin with a heart of gold.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, actually, what I wasn't expecting from this movie, although I should have, based on the professional, is how much heart this has. There's a moment in the beginning when she's being sentenced or like sedated to go on to prison or whatever. She's like crying out for like, "Did you get my mom? Did you call my mom? Bring my mom?" You know, like something real about that like tapped into like, yeah, man, you know, like when you're sick, you want that mom.
That's a common like breakdown element among actual drug addicts.
Oh,
so they often get reduced to childlike behavior, where they call it for a parent or whatever. Yeah, that's like to be saved, right?
Yeah,
because they want to fix. So they're trying to temporarily relieve pain. They're always coming back to the pain. If they could get the security blanket, you know, from a parent or whatever, it's all psychological. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's your favorite. That's your favorite part.
That's one of them. I mean, I'm not gonna just like say,
oh, because you're saying the performance felt like real life.
Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Because this movie has great action, which is
like,
actually
I really like when she was coming down off of heroin. She was crying for her mommy.
But no, there was something real about that. I mean, a great performance. But I mean, of course, what the movie is really known for is, you know, the action. And of course, I assume this might be one of yours, so I figured you're either going to jump on or just let me drone on about it. But the restaurant scene, the assassination scene, if you will, her first assignment.
Oh no, I don't have the restaurant set up as my favorite bit.
Well, yeah, I mean it's a kind of a masterclass in tension or like you know, sleight of hand, I guess. I don't know. She's given her first assignment, and you know, or no, excuse me, she's given her first assignment on what she thinks is just a dinner date with her one of her trainers or her mentor, and gives her a gift. It's a gun. He says, "All right, there's 3 people you need to shoot. Duck out the window in the back, and we'll drive you away." Well, what she doesn't know is there is no window. It's you know, bricked up, and then she's got to kind of shoot her way and figure her way out. But you know, there's a scene in a restaurant where, or excuse me, in the kitchen of a restaurant where some assassins or other thugs are coming after her, and she has to take them all out. But I mean, it's really tense. You know, you don't know if she's actually going to make it out or not because she doesn't know. You know, like she's not. This isn't like a superhero movie where they have the utmost confidence. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to get out of this scenario. Like she's like, and I don't know if I'm going to survive.
It's like her assassin supervisor. I don't know. But he's like very sadistic. Like he wraps her personal life into her assignments. But he played by a great actor though. I thought he was a French actor, but he's like French and Turkish. Checky Caro or whatever. I think I say. Hopefully I'm saying his name
the fiance.
Right. No. He's the Bob, the supervisor.
Oh yeah.
He's like a well-known French actor, and I guess she's also Turkish, French. I don't know, French Turkish. His name begins with a T, but I think it's pronounced Checky, and then it's Caro is the last name. People, you'd recognize his face. He's been in things.
Been in French stuff.
Well, he was in the Patriot with Mel Gibson. He's like the French colonel who's coordinating their efforts on the American side versus the English. And also, if you've seen The Core, where they're drilling to the center of the earth with who played the Two-Face in the Dark Knight?
Eckhart.
Yeah, Aaron Eckhart. There's a movie like kind of like Journey to the Center of the Earth, or whatever. Like, oh, the Earth's core is gonna implode, and then like the French guy that designs the drill ship, their magic ship or whatever that they're drilling with, is played by this dude. Anyway.
Never saw it.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, that was my bits.
All right. So she beats up her trainer, her martial arts trainer in the beginning. And then there's a ballet dance afterwards, and I'm like, incredible. So that's one of my favorite bits. And then Leon the professional shows up. Only they call him Victor, and he's the cleaner. I'm like, oh, well, Leon's the cleaner. What's going to happen here? And I was like, I was thinking, like, I've seen Nikita before. I've seen Leon. But I was like, did I forget that the professional shows up? No, this is why. They call him Victor. He gets killed after he cleans the scene. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something crazy happens in this movie. They dump acid on a guy that's not dead yet. And I'm like,
like
this
a
guy
couple people
Victor,
that aren't fully
this
dead
is like
yet.
this is like a Leon doppelganger because Leon's like kind of a sweet guy, even though he's a hitman, and he teaches a little girl how to survive. And Leon, the professional, who's like one of the first movies for what's her name,
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. He has one of her first roles or whatever, and he's fighting a corrupt cop played by Gary Oldman. And like, okay, but Victor is like a loose cannon. He's all over the place. I mean, they go to the Russian embassy and they're just laying waste to everybody there. And he's like, "Oh, who's that guy? It's a librarian. You just shot the librarian." You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't part of the mission. Anyway, so I like the cameo by Jean Reno and the ballet dance after she beats up the martial arts teacher. And then I don't know if this is a favorite bit. This is like one thing that like I'm teetering between the ratings, honestly, from a binge later to a binge now, only because like the ending's ambiguous. Like, did she run away to spare the boyfriend, or was the boyfriend a plant the whole time, put there by Bob to spy on Nikita the entire movie, and then decides that he loves her, that they're both infatuated with her, so they both agree not to kill her, or like, spoiler alert, there's some documents she steals from an embassy as like her get out of jail free card. Like if she holds on to the documents, as long as she has the documents, she's still alive. But as soon as she like gives over the documents, you know they're gonna kill her. And then the boyfriend is there, like playing it like his poker card, like, "Hey, I got the documents you want, but my girl's out of this. You can't mess with her."
Right.
He gives the documents over. We don't see what private note she wrote for Bob. So it's like anything could happen. Nikita could have planted a bomb and she's going to kill them both. The boyfriend could really be a spy, and that's his actual boss, and he was just planted there. And so it's like, then like she gets away, but they had their documents, whatever. We'll move on to something else. Or the spy boss is going to kill the boyfriend, take the documents, and then go look for Nikita immediately after the credits roll. You know, we don't know. And I've seen this before, and I don't remember like thinking like, I thought the boyfriend got killed. For some reason, I thought the boyfriend got killed, but he doesn't. Unless that's like the pieces that I glued into my own imagination, because the movie doesn't tell you one way or the other.
No, it is kind of an ambiguous ending.
So that's if it has.
Yeah, I mean, this fell off a little bit at the end. I mean, that's not to say it gets bad, but it I don't know, it loses half a point at the end for me. But I don't know. I guess we move on to ratings. Or is there anything more you want to talk about bits?
No, I mean we're kind of leaning into it.
All right, well then, it is still edging out into a binge now for me. I had never seen this before. This is one of those that I've been intending to watch. I'm glad we had this episode to push me over to watching it. It's probably my second favorite Luc Besson movie now after The Professional.
Well, technically, it's like an art film with action scenes, right?
Yeah, although funny, I mean, I didn't work that into the facts, but he was actually kind of pissed off about the marketing of this movie because it was marketed more as an art film when he thought it was more of an film. Like he's like,
if they had marketed it as an espionage thriller action movie, you know, like American Action or something, right?
But it's a binge now for me. I mean, it's like I said, it hasn't beat The Professional for me, but it's definitely I don't know. He's made good movies. He's made some pretty bad ones lately. I think so. Anyways,
I can't remember the other time on this show I brought up if I was teaching a filmmaking class, I would show this movie. I think it was a movie about the writing of a certain movie. Oh, it might have been the movie with Paul Newman that we watched recently.
Oh, Nobody's Fool?
Yeah, Nobody's Fool. You could take that for writing. But Nikita is a movie I'm going to show for, like, you know, context and auteurism. I don't know if auteurism still exists because now everything's like an algorithm and they're like, you got to make this movie, or if you work for Marvel, you got to make this Marvel movie in the Marvel style. Right. But like the auteur, which might even be, is it a French term? It might be a French term, right? Yeah. So it's basically like the vision of a singular artist extrapolated and then, you know, developed through the way it's edited, the way it's shot, the way the actors perform. Like everything is just part of the painting, essentially, right? That one artist creates. So, like, he has a definitive style. Like, even to the soundtracks, even to the way the punk gang behaves in the beginning. Like, you kind of don't know what film you're watching at first, but you're definitely engaged. It's got your attention for sure.
I mean, it felt like an American movie by way of a French actor or a French director, rather. I mean, you mentioned what classes you would teach this with. I mean, I would add to that like the editing and even the cinematography or the lighting more specifically. I mean, it's
that goes back to the ending because you're talking about cinematography now, right?
Yeah.
The way that scene with her sitting in the chair shot, it looks tragic. Like she did not get away. Like
right.
It's dark. It's silhouetted. It's like that. It's another film school term. What do they call that? 3-point lighting or it's a really weird term, like on a skeezy lighting. Do you remember that weird?
I can't remember that. I know. I kind of know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name.
Sorry, folks. We're not going to be able to remember what this is called. But they were talking about film noir. They taught us like this version of lighting where you can indicate basically the mood and tone or a decision with the lighting. So basically, the way this thing is lit at the end, it would suggest that she's not going to make it out. That's right. All.
Yeah, it seems like either she's not gonna make it out of that lifestyle, or the program, if you will. Like they're gonna get their 30 years.
Dude, you can't come back from it, right? Like this is a stupid comparison because like Nikita is better than most of the Rambo movies, but it's the same thing. Like you can't get away from that life. Like once you kill, even if you're killing for like, even if you believe that the murder is somehow justified by a good cause, or like if there's even a good cause for murder, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, she's killed people, right? So like, yeah, I mean, she's a tragic figure no matter what.
She's psychologically screwed up. I mean, she's taken many people's lives.
Yeah.
But
Dave's dogs agree. Anyway, you should watch the movie anyway. I mean, like, so
if you can find it.
I think some magic movie elf is gonna let this thing slip on like the Internet Video Archive and freaking YouTube because, I mean, this is one of those movies deserves to be like, saved for future generations and also like somehow delivered in a way that people can access it. I mean, why is it not on freaking Prime?
I'm surprised
Canopy
it's not available.
Library or whatever.
I used to see this everywhere. Like, in fact, it was one of those movies that took for granted. I'm like, I'll watch that later. It's always available on Netflix or Hulu, whichever.
Well, it's like the erosion of cinema. It's just like another thing is gone. Like I'm like now worried that like you can't even get Subway anymore, which is another of his movies. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna have to stockpile my Luc Besson. I went and looked to see like how much does the Luc Besson collection cost? $162 for a Blu-ray, but it's like his, 5 films or whatever. But the Blu-rays are almost out of print too. So
maybe they'll do a 4K cut version.
Before Dave scoured the internet and scorched earth, like, really digging up a needle in the haystack for us to find a copy of Nikita to even watch, I was looking to buy the DVD, and I'm like, went to 3 different sites. They had one copy each. I'm like, dude, like, there's only a handful of these Nikita DVDs floating around. Like, it's
like
not
somebody
good.
Gobbled them up.
Yeah, there'd be like one collector, right? Would go and buy all the copies.
He just puts out one a week on eBay, one listing a week. I'm like, all right, just drive it up.
Now, if you watch something else besides the movie of the week that you can recommend to people that might be more widely available, did you watch anything, Dave?
Yeah, a few things. I guess I'll mention a movie and a TV show I'm watching. Watched the new, actually surprisingly really good new slasher, Sick, on Peacock. Basically, yes, there's some political bent to it, because it takes place right at the beginning of the pandemic. But if you can put some of that aside, I mean, it's still a pretty solid slasher. It's actually written by Kevin Williamson, which I didn't know. He was writing non-Scream stuff still, or Vampire Diaries, whatever his big thing is lately. So yeah, I mean, Sick. I mean, if you want to watch just a good old school 80s, 90s type slasher, Sick on Peacock's pretty good. Also, I've been watching
SICK.
Yeah, Sick as in I'm sick, because it takes place at the beginning of the pandemic. The pandemic does play into it, but I don't want to say much more other, because it might spoil it.
Oh, dude, I can't watch anything that has like people wearing the masks.
They do in the
M2
beginning,
mask.
but then it's like they're in then they become
No, but you know how we have like 6 months of TV and movie content that has masks through like every scene.
Yeah.
Can't handle it, dude. Can't watch it. I gotta move on to something else.
What else? Oh, actually, a show that John you got me started ages ago, and I'm only now picking up again. Delocated. You showed me that ages ago.
I love that. I literally just said I can't watch any content with masks in it, and this guy,
Oh.
he's in the witness protection program. He has to wear a ski mask, which dude.
Well, because he decides he's in the witness protection, but he also is part of a reality TV show about his life in witness protection.
And you know, if you're out there, and you don't know what a ski mask is. You might call it a shiesty because your generation has a different name for it.
And what a voice implant to like make them sound like, you know.
They're supposed to do like a voice modulator, so you can't tell what's the deal with this guy in witness protection program.
Yeah,
but
it's a fun Adult Swim show. You know, with the. It's so funny because, like, I know the guy specifically. Like, it's hard to know who he is because he's got on the mask and his voice changed.
And this sounds silly, but there's like a whole episode where he can't stop eating the sandwich. Like every scene, they have sandwiches, sub sandwiches.
Oh, maybe I haven't gotten to that one yet.
Oh, dude, it was like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, no, I'm just getting into season 2, which I noticed like they're double length episodes. But and then just one other quick thing. Me and my wife went down the rabbit hole. Do you remember? It's 20 years ago now, but did you ever watch?
You just broke hearts, Dave. They wanted you to be single.
Oh,
you just broke all the listeners' hearts.
Well, you know, I'll keep you updated if anything ever happens.
He'll recycle those DM slides. He's kidding.
Did you
just opened a can of worms. Now I can talk about your DM slides.
Oh no.
You're like, no. This is how famous Dave is now. They're aware he has a podcast. They're sliding into his DMs. Now he's in trouble.
Oh no. Like I'm just next to the wife. No. Just turn away. No. Well, she
doesn't listen to the podcast. I don't think we're fine.
No, not really. Moving on. What have you been watching aside from Nikita?
Oh, dude. Well, I did watch The Last of Us, which I think I mentioned at the top of the episode.
Yeah, without spoiling it, is good, bad. I was
thinking premiere is as long as the movie. It's promising. I don't know anything about the game, so I'm not going to be disappointed by adaptation rules or anything or mistakes. So that's fine. I'm fine with that. Cool, whatever.
I kind of didn't want to see it until I saw Nick Offerman's in it, and then I'm like, all right, you kind of got me there.
It's got a good angle on the whole zombie thing. I don't know if that's in the games or not, like that it comes from a fungus rather than a comet, like Night of the Living Dead or a virus.
I started playing it ages ago, but I guess I didn't get that far into knowing it's a fungus. So
I don't know if it's in the games or just the show, but it's kind of like anxiety-inducing, terror-inducing, like. It starts off a little bit slow, but then it gets going.
I might watch that tonight then.
Oh, and I did go to the movie theaters, which I've gone to the movies more in the last 2 months than I have gone in the last like 5 years.
I've been a few times.
I saw Megan.
Yeah, I was gonna see that, so you tell me how was it?
All right. Well, it's a binge later. I would love to watch it on a rental that only costs $3 as opposed to $80 at the movies for a group of people. So it's really too slow. Like there's only 3 or 4 deaths, and only 2 of them are really rewarding for a horror movie. It's like I'm like amping up the bloodlust. Yeah, I want the. it's like the pacing is really slow. So, like, I was aware that I was sitting in a movie theater, like, 45 minutes in going, oh. Like, I wonder if the rest of everybody is losing interest. But it has some funny bits, and the concept is cool, but Chucky still dominates that whole evil doll subgenre. So,
well, yeah, I was supposed to see it. Me and my wife actually went to the theater in another town because we got out of town to do some shopping and things. Went to a theater whose website posted a certain afternoon showtime, and we show up there like, oh yeah, it's not playing till 6 tonight. I'm like, but your website says that, like, and we weren't the only one. There was like half the line got like, wait, what? Got pissed, and we all walked out because what are you gonna do then? So I never did get to see Megan.
I'm looking forward to the unrated cut that comes out on demand. to see if there's more horror movie like stuff because it is PG-13. It's a little bit watered down. But you're also watching, like, do you know the premise? Do you know why? Like,
I saw the
so
preview, but I've already forgotten like the
so there's a
preview.
little girl who gets Megan, but her aunt is like the one who developed all these AI toys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Megan accidentally becomes the most advanced, and then they're deciding whether or not like they should have toy companions to kids to help with their feelings. But then like Megan makes the little girl a basket case, and so at one point in the movie, you're like, "Wow, the little girl might be more dangerous than Megan." Megan, whatever. I'm saying Megan like Key and Peele now. Megan, come on, don't be an evil doll. Megan, your jacket. You know, that's a classic joke anyway.
Megan.
People have no idea what I'm talking about unless they've seen the show. You know, Key and Peele, they got a freaking sketch comedy show. It has the Shanghai. What's that? Shanghai 10 Rings, whatever. Marvel superhero.
Oh, Shang-Chi.
Fights ninjas, magic ninjas. Yeah, Shang-Chi. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Plays an executive. His interaction with Megan is funny. And he has one of the two good death scenarios in the movie.
Well, now I know he's gonna die. Sweet.
Well, the trailer tells you that. Did you watch the trailer?
I did, but it's been a while ago,
right.
so I guess
one can assume if you watch the preview that dude's gonna die. Plus, he's the big evil CEO. You know, every business owner gets killed in horror movies, don't they? Chucky Part 2, the toy executive who brought back the Good Boy liner or the Good Chuck line or whatever they're called. Good Boy dolls. What are they called?
Good guy. Yeah, good guys.
Remember he was trying to play golf in his office and Chucky shows up?
It's been a while since I've seen two. Anyways.
Yeah. They don't like capitalism in horror movies.
Not
actually, yeah, what is it, like 7 Deadly Sins? Any of those sins are taken out in horror movies. I think that's what it really is, David. That's what it boils down to. Yeah. Right? Think about it. Can't have sex, you're going to get killed. Can't be too greedy, you're going to get killed. Can't eat too much, like the Nightmare on Elm Street one. Did you see that, where the girl's eating her own, like Freddy's feeding her own parts of herself?
Own stomach, yeah.
Yeah, that's just gnarly.
Glutton.
That's Nightmare Part 5, I think. One of the best parts of
4 or 5, yeah.
One of those, yeah, 4
or 5.
I
got a new series rewatch.
One of the best things of all time, people, is when Freddy has a pizza with little meatball people on it. Look that up. Look that up. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll just talk about, yeah, that'll be good for the clickbait. Find out what we think of Megan.
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 So what are we watching for next week?
Next week, just like this episode, it's so good you're gonna forget about it. It's actually an anime which Dave loves.
Oh boy.
It's a wind named Amnesia. Yeah, it's a sci-fi concept. It's like something happens and people forget everything.
A wind named Amnesia?
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Like there's something that gets into the air and gives everybody amnesia.
Okay. Well,
Dave's already tuned out.
At least it's not.
This is the first animated movie of the year, man.
Well, at least it's not like one of the tentacle ones or something. Ugh.
So don't comment angry comments about toy guns or like Megan.
Or tentacle anime.
Get yourself a mouthwatering steak, though. OmahaSteak.com. Binge at checkout. Yeah. Dave's going to go eat a steak.
Yeah.
Because we have the meats this week. That's right.
Pick up from Arby's.
If you mention Arby's, they're going to go to Arby's. They're not going to watch the movie of the week. They're going to be like, no, I'm just thinking about that freaking beef and cheddar.
It's all right. We're not affiliated with them. And no, you go to Omaha Steak and get the quality meats. Not the...
Sponsored by Arby's.com. You can now order Arby's directly to your asshole.
Oh.
Like South Park, where they eat in reverse. Dave didn't even mention the fact that he's wearing merchandise. He's wearing the Top Gun.
The Top Wolf sweatshirt. From
Yeah.
Cheap
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Comics.com.
It's a Top Gun parody. We call it Top Wolf. It's basically a werewolf in place of Tom Cruise. Or if Tom Cruise got bitten by a werewolf and was in a movie called Top Wolf, that's what the joke would be.
This is a better movie. Just saying.
What's a better movie? Top
Wolf?
Oh, fuck yeah. I wasn't even going to drop an F-bomb. Thanks a lot, Dave, right at the end. Got me so excited.